Okay.
I think that's the
So I'm going to go over segregation and how it's going to affect uh, U.S. citizens. So some of you may or may not have heard that segregation is in as of right now. We are looking at this idea of uh, what is it? Damn. Yeah, segregation. So I'm going to show y'all. These are basically the four classes of citizenship. Okay. So these are basically the four forms of citizenship that we deal with here in the U.S. We have the nationals, who are citizens of the state. We have stateless, which are federal citizens. We have aliens, like non-citizen nationals, etc. And then we just have the corporate citizens, which, to be honest, these two follow along the same lines. A non-citizen national, I just would like to make this clear to you all. A non-citizen national is someone who says, I'm not a citizen of any state, but I am a national from some other country. Okay? Let me just make that known for you all, for all of those who wish to utilize this here. This is not the same as this. Okay? So we're dealing with segregation. The first thing we need to understand about U.S. citizenship is that every citizen of the state have white status. This is the first thing we need to understand. Every citizen of the state, the Pennsylvanians, the New Yorkers, right, those individuals who have secured themselves, right, these are the white persons or the recognized persons. Again, white does not mean that your skin tone is pale, unless you wanted to believe that, but the law does not state that. So the citizens of the states have white status. Every citizen of the state is identified as an investor, as an insurer, as a shareholder, stockholder, these things, right? And so every state citizen or national citizen, right, has claim. They have right of claim. Right of claim. Everyone with a passport who has pledged their allegiance to the state as well has the right of claim. This is the secured party or the secured personality, right? Next, you have your stateless citizens. Every stateless citizen has black status. Black status means that your status is dirty. It's not in good standing. So black doesn't mean that your skin is dark, but again, if that's what you want to believe, but that's not what the law says. So black citizens are citizens that have no right of claim. This is why they're in a federal jurisdiction, right? This is a black status. This is a black citizen. Okay? The next class, alien. Some like to say non-resident alien. Or even non-citizen national. These people, this status, all right, or this class of citizenship, the expression is that I'm not from America. I'm not an American, but I am a citizen of some other nation, state, or country. Okay, so these are not Americans. Okay, and then the last status would be corporate status. So these aliens and these stateless, these aliens and these stateless citizens, these statuses are deemed as freeloaders, right? Because they have no allegiance to the state, right? Some non-citizen nationals say that we pledge allegiance to America, even though we're not from any state in America. But these here are being identified as usurpers. What is usurpation? Usurpation is the benefiting of others who do not have any right of claim. to the land. Okay. This is what's going to be segregated, right? The segregation that's going on is going to separate free, white personas, all right? Free white persona is going to separate those who have right of claim from those who do not. Some of us may have seen in the news that ICE has come and has begun taking away those who they identify as aliens, right? Be that as it may. And the reason why the Trump administration is acting as such and is doing as such is for the purpose of making sure that those who are state citizens who have right of claim are not overlooked as shareholders. Pardon me, put my shoes on. All right. So you have the blacks, which are federal citizens, the stateless citizens. Every stateless citizen, here you go. Y'all may have heard of this. All right. Every citizen who is not a state citizen is an enemy. Yeah. Why does that not look right? Enemy. Okay, enemy of the state. Remember, free white status is national citizenship or state citizenship. Okay, state and national as a collective, right? So if you are not with the state, then you are not with any nation that is particular to America. And particularly all so-called, we'll just say enemies of the state, or we'll call it this way, 14th Amendment citizenship. This is 14th Amendment citizenship. Okay. Now, some of us should be aware that there are people of European descent who are born with the free white status. And that people from Africa, particularly North Africa, who were born in America, have this status. This status is the creditor status. This status is the debtor status. And so the segregation is going to come between those who are a part of the state and those who are freeloading. The 14th Amendment supposedly offered citizenship as a privilege to those who were taken out of debtorship, because slavery is debtorship. Okay? But this is still debtorship right here. If you're only acting off of the birth certificate and social security number as a person, you are an enemy of the state. Now, your aliens who do not pledge allegiance to the state, even though they're from somewhere else, those are called illegal aliens. And then you have lawful aliens, like quote unquote non-citizen nationals, right? who pledge allegiance to the state, but say that they come from some other country other than that which is within the U.S. All of this under here is what's going to be segregated from this over here. What does this mean? That means if you are not registered as a shareholder, or we'll say stockholder, of any of the states, union states, you will be mistreated, exiled, if you will, exiled, mistreated. What was the other one? Oh, yeah. Or in prison. This is what segregation is leading to. This is what it's about. No allegiance to government or another entity, sovereign. And what's the opposite of that last one? Okay, why don't you come on up, family, so that you can ask that question and we can get to it. But in a minute, until that individual comes up, if you are not a state citizen, you are going to be treated, or you're going to be treated like someone who has no rights in the States. Now, so-called African Americans, right, who don't recognize that the status of black and the status of white pertain to real citizenship versus colored citizenship rather than the appearance of their skin, these individuals are going to take a hell of a loss because this is between everybody, because they have nowhere to go.
Hello.
Peaceful greetings, brother.
Blessings.
What was your question?
I was wondering about, first, I guess, what are you going over from what perspective? Like the U.S.
I'm going
government's?
over it from real citizenship. Like, what is citizenship? And then again, I'm hearing about all of this segregation going on in the Trump administration. And so I've already made the correlation that the segregation there's people like, oh my God, segregation, because they don't recognize the classes of citizenship. And so they're thinking it's, oh, he's black, or, oh, no, it has nothing to do with one's skin tone,
Right.
right? And so the segregation, like I was stating, anyone who is deemed an enemy of the state is deemed a usurper of the estates and are taking from those who are a part of the state, right?
I see. Mm-hmm.
It says that I'm a citizen of the state, right? I'm a national citizen. And so I'm just highlighting what is going to be enforced lawfully, right? In respect to this segregation. Everybody has segregation, and it's like, you and I, we've heard about it in the past and what it relates to. And so people are identifying segregation as, oh, that's unfair, but this segregation that is being expressed in the United States, it is not unfair. It is really to help the people, but the people have to be we the people. They have to be state citizens.
Right. Would we have state sovereignty for that?
Right, right. We have right, absolutely, and national sovereignty,
Hmm.
because the nation overall is the USA, but each state has its own sovereignty, and then it secedes just a little bit of it for the sake of the states around them, so that they can all come in union and say, "Hey, we're going to help one another."
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And you had a question. What's the opposite of that last one? And no allegiance to the government or another entity sovereign. So I
Right.
was
I
trying
think
to.
you had said if you were an illegal alien, but you had pledged your
Okay,
allegiance
yeah,
to the
yeah,
state.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the opposite of that one would, to me, would be a natural born but doesn't pledge any allegiance to their state.
right. That would be an alien. We
Just
have
an alien, but
legal
okay.
and illegal
Gotcha.
aliens. An alien
Yeah.
is someone who comes from another country that keeps that nationality. They keep that citizenship, and it's stating that they're only here for a time.
Hmm.
All right, until they naturalize and come in to the union. And so I was also expressing to people that those who call themselves non-citizen nationals, this is the new play on words, right? That I'm not me person. I'm not telling anyone to change their minds, right? This is only coming from how I see it. To be a non-citizen of the United States, national of another country, that's naturalization,
Hmm.
right? And if they haven't naturalized, then they're still under the alien status.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense to me. Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I
that's
was
I'm
looking
glad that it
for. Yeah.
does.
Thanks.
Self-made from the UK. Peace and love, family. Whoever that
Hey, thanks
is.
for having me on.
Oh, no doubt as well. No problem, brother. If you know anything more about state citizenship, sovereignty, even though I don't like to use that word, not because it's a
Hmm.
bad word, but because the ignorant don't know any better, right?
Right.
And they hear it out. Oh, you're a sovereign citizen. Nobody said that. I use the phrase free national citizen because how
Hmm.
is somebody in court going to argue whether you're free or not? If I say sovereign
It
to a
just depends
seven
on
year
what you
old
give away,
child, if I say
what kind of.
sovereign to a 7 year old child, and that's not something in their vocabulary, that's going to go over their heads. But if I
Yep.
say free to a 7 year old child,
Hmm.
they're going to have their mind can grasp that.
Right.
And I try my best when I'm teaching to teach to a 7 year old.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not using, instead of saying words like jurisdiction, I might say control, because a child will understand control, but
Right.
they're not going to understand jurisdiction until that time comes for them to learn it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so, again, if you have any information, brother, like I feel like I'm alone out here,
Well,
right?
no, you're not. You're not alone. There's so many of us that care. Care about the people here, and we care about the planet, the Earth we're on. Stewards of our planet, and that's my message that I'm bringing along with me. Take care of each other, and
Are you one in
our
Christ?
path. I'm one. I'm one in spirit with Christ's spirit. Yep.
Likewise. Likewise. Are you esoteric? Are you mystic at all?
Yes,
All
I am,
right.
and I'm
So,
native
so
to
then
the
we're
land
here.
as well.
So
Yeah.
then we're here.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Because when I say Christ, so in the mystic studies system that I've been raised up in, the word Jesus represents justice. It's a title. It is your most highest self. Jesus is the closest thing to God that mankind knows. And Jesus tells you, all these things I have done, you shall do and even greater. And so
Hmm.
the Christ is the consciousness or the persona, but not particularly that one man.
Right.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Right. All right.
Same
Yeah. Because
thing.
when you start getting into the one man, then you're idolizing. and that's what it
Right.
said do not do. Yeah.
So as a Muslim, I get a lot of pushback from Orthodox Muslims, right?
Hmm.
Because I say the same thing about Muhammad. You know, these are titles. We're supposed to be like these bringers of justice, right? They are all of one brotherhood. They ain't changing nothing, and they're examples to follow. So if you're
Yeah.
a baker, right? If you're the best baker in the world, and I sign up to come to your class, and I follow your example, for what purpose am I following your example? To become like yourself.
Hmm.
But people who are not within or ESO, who are EXO, they miss that. They miss that whole correlation, and then it's the boogie woogie, you know, woo,
Yeah.
and all of that. And that same misunderstanding is expressed in citizenship. Because I hear so many people out here talking about I'm not a U.S. citizen, and I'm like, well, in order to be perfected, you have to be balanced. So you have to have your lower and your right, you know, your lower and your higher, right?
Hmm.
And I'm teaching people, according to my understanding, that this is my person, this is my lower, my stateless person, and this is my other person, my state person. This is my debtor, this is my creditor, and they must balance the scale.
Yeah. Micro and macro.
So,
Yeah. I see the correlation there.
but again, you got people out here saying, I'm. To be honest with you, I'm neither. I'm
Hmm.
not a person, but people have persons.
Right. Just more
The
titles.
people, right? The people they have citizenship. My physical self is not a citizen. You see what I'm saying? But understanding the whole act, because
Hmm.
it's all in acts, right? Everyone's acting. Because I understand that I can say that I am the cross and my good deeds and my bad deeds. You see what I'm saying? I'm the
Yeah.
one who oversees them. I judge, I referee, right? If I'm in the wrong, I must hold myself accountable.
Hmm.
If I'm in the right, I must hold you accountable. You see what I'm saying? So this is the
Yeah.
marriage or the union. In
The
Islam, we
balance.
call it tawhid. What's that?
The balance.
Right, right. Or with the Freemasons, they'll say the level.
Hmm.
Right. With Ma'at, we learn of the scale. Right. In cosmology and astrology, it's Libra. You see what I'm saying? It's
I
liberty,
do.
all that good stuff. You know, but it's really just it's accounting. So I keep telling people, learn to take account for yourself, take account for your deeds. But I say take up an account of your deeds, because these are my bad deeds, these are my good deeds, right? And my good deeds have to they have to be higher than my bad deeds. And this
Mm.
is why we call this the higher self, right?
Yeah.
But so I'm just trying to explain to the people that when we're dealing with citizenship, those that are running around here calling themselves non-citizen nationals, that's perfectly fine if that's what they wish to say. I've heard people say, oh, well, before the 14th Amendment, there was no such thing as U.S. citizens. Yes, the fuck it was.
There was a lowercase c and a capital C is the difference.
Right, right, right. And the U.S. state list, meaning no state of mind, it's black. It's in the dark. It can't stand up.
Hmm.
Right? That's debtorship. That's all we're talking about is your debtorship. You see what I'm saying?
I
And
do.
then so that's why I tell I'm white. Have you ever seen did you know? Let me ask you that. Did you know that North Africans, according to ethnicity and race classification, are identified as white?
I didn't. No.
Didn't know that? Would you mind me showing you?
I would like. Yeah, show me. I'd like to see.
Right. This is something that I put together for the people. Right. I'm trying to invite everybody to the table. Let's get rid of the division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in here, if you can see at the bottom, it says white. Right.
Hmm.
Person having any people having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, and where else? What does it say right there?
North Africa. So like Egypt would be in there,
Egypt,
right? Yeah.
Morocco, Libya, Tunisia, Algiers, Tangiers, all up in that area.
Hmm.
And that area is also close to Eurasia. Because once if you go into Morocco, when you cross that water upward, you're going into Europe, right? And then if you go up and to the right, you're going into Asia. And that's why
Hmm.
we have Europe, the Middle East, which is Eurasia, in Europe. Asia, Europe, and the Middle East is Eurasia. And then you also have North Africa. And just to my knowledge, in real world history prior to 1491, these three classifications here were under Islamic rule, right? And in Islam, everyone is supposed to be born white, right? Islam preaches this universal brotherhood. And again, unfortunately, a lot of the Muslims out there, they're not aware of the esoteric information, so they don't understand that it's a fraternal order.
So being born white's not saying your skin color.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly. This is
your
what we've been
slate
taught. We've all been miseducated. We've been pit one against the other, right? Thinking that because my skin is darker than yours, there's some way, somehow, I'm better or you're beneath me, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear from all of these people who sit here and act like all of humanity is not one fucking family. We're all one family. We're
yeah,
all one species. There's only one race. And if there's only one race, there's only one true citizenship.
of Earth.
Right. I'm an Earth, right. And so everyone has white status because white means pure, it means clean, it means in God's image. It doesn't mean that your skin is pale.
Hmm.
So in the Islamic order, not even just in all mystic orders, this we should know, right? All of humanity is one family, right? The issue with the Masons and the Shriners and even some of these other fraternal orders, particularly here in America, is that again they're doing this division thing on skin
Exclusivity.
color.
Yeah, and just keeping people out and closing the doors on them. Yeah, it's you creating more segregation and
Right. So there was
division.
so
So
there was so there was his brother back in the 1900s, Drew Ali. And this brother, he went through all the preacher stuff. Then he went through all the Masonic stuff. Then he went through all the Shriner stuff. And he took out what he did was he made all of that shit plain. So he took out all what we call the knotty pieces, right? He took out
mhm.
everything that divided the people and said, everybody come on in. This is one family order, right? And Drew Ali was a mystic, so he integrated Islam with Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, right? Rosicrucianism, things of this nature, right? So
Mhm.
he's like everybody of every order, come on in. Let's share, right? Let's build. Let's all be of one accord. And then his teachings got lost because you know there were those who didn't want that to come out. They didn't want me and you to look at each other like that's my brother right there.
Right. because
They
they lose
wanted to
control
keep the
over us.
division going. And so
Yeah.
they actually drove Drew Ali out the same way Jesus was driven out so that they could take charge of the situation.
Mm.
And so
Listen,
people like myself, I'm Moorish American. I don't know if you've heard about it, right?
Morris, yes, yeah, I know of them.
Yes. So there's a lot of people, there's a lot of Moors in the movement who have that sovereign citizen doctrine. And because for whatever reason, everyone's looking for the negative, when they see that, they try to say, all Moorish Americans are a part of that.
Well, that's the narrative that was given to
Yeah.
everyone when they first got movement, momentum, was
So
that
I
they
can,
were, yeah,
mhm.
I
I
didn't say
kind
it
of
that
did
way.
what Jesus did, brother. I came in, knocked the tables over, like all y'all motherfuckers is fucking up. All y'all got to
Right?
go. Everybody got to go because y'all done put shit on my name that ain't on my name.
Hey, thanks for the love. Thanks for having me on here. I got to run and talk to my
All
little
right,
girl.
brother. I appreciate you for coming in, man. You
Blessings.
take care.
Hmm.
All right. So getting back to segregation. Segregation is the division of humanity based upon perceived differences. Segregation is classism. We might call it, people have heard of it as racism. I can assure you all it's not racism because, like I just shared with the beloved, there's only one race, right? It's important to be educated and to know better than what people are telling you, right? But again, you ain't got to listen to me. Just keeping it 100 with you. Segregation is the division of humanity based on perceived differences, right? It's not racism. What it is classism. Ism means the doctrine. So it's a doctrine of class. And remember, I showed you the classes of citizenship. Classes, you have the working class, you have the the servant class, same thing. You have the upper class, the middle class, the lower class. In dealing with checks and balances, you're going to have masters and servants. You're going to have those who make jobs and those who work jobs, right? But at the end of the day, right, just because you own the business that employed me does not make you a better human being than myself, right? And that idea of someone being better due to such, that's classism. So the segregation is going to be the white or the sovereign class above. It's going to be the white sovereign class versus the black slave class and the alien outsider class. That's what we're looking at, though. This is what the segregation that's coming in is about. And to be completely honest with you, I have no problem with that. Understanding law, I have no problem with those who believe that they are slaves, right? I don't have a problem with those who believe that they are slaves being treated like the slaves they believe they are. I can only deal with you based on what you tell me. So if you believe you're the descendant of a slave, that means that you're always going to be a slave because you are what your ancestors were. Classes don't change, right? So if you believe that you have no authority, if you believe that because your skin is darker than another's, that makes you black, then of your own volition, you are identifying yourself as an enemy of the state, right? And basically as an alien, right? This is what the segregation is about. How do we get to the point where we are the ones who are benefiting from this supposed uh, racial classification of racism? Declare your national allegiance with the state constitutional so that's republic government in which you live and be redeemed as one of we the people of the United States of America. This is how we end segregation. This is how we get beyond segregation. Right? This is how you get yourself to where you need to be. Now, how do we declare our national allegiance with which we live to be redeemed as one of we the people of the United States of America? Islam, war.
Islam. How you doing, man?
I'm all well, brother. I appreciate you for coming. I just felt like I needed another Muslim up here. You know what I mean?
There you go. I
Absolutely.
look. I just happened to pop on here, and see you on here. Look, I'm in the middle of moving, but I'm sitting there taking me a little break right quick. So I'm like, let
Okay,
me.
well, get
Oh
your
nah.
headphones in or do whatever you do. I hope that your move is well.
Oh yeah. I got them in there. I'm
He
listening,
said, I
man.
got did that. Absolutely.
Hey,
So,
look, I got you. I got your number too, man. You sent me a message.
yeah, bro,
Yeah.
because yeah, what would need to be spoke of in private needs to
Oh,
be
I
spoken.
know. I already know. I
But
already know.
I'm trying to reach out to those who are like myself.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I'm
But
going
I'm
over
listening.
right now. What you say?
I said, but nah. I said, go ahead. I'm listening.
All right. So I'm explaining, and you and I should know if you followed Ali's literature, his information. This is what he told us to do. He said, if you do nothing else, declare your nationality. So
Yep.
just by declaring your nationality, if you do nothing else, you should have reached salvation. But he told us specifically how to do it, and anyone who's willing to read and pay attention, if you were to go to, and I'll show you all, Drew Ali tells us exactly what to do. And he also is telling us that there are other individuals in America they'll tell you the same fucking thing. Like he telling you, you ain't gotta just get it from me, but since my people are the ones who need it the most. I'm gonna get it to you. So for all of those who might have the Morris literature, um, the article is called "A Divine Warning by the Prophet for the Nations," in which he tells us specifically. He says if Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians, so mind you, he just named Eurasian people, are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. Right? Hold on, because I know there's a. He says, I want to see, because this might not be the one, because he tells you specifically, nope, without your, Okay, I'll get into that in a minute. I don't want to hold up too much of what we're doing. But anywho, Drew Ali is telling you. So what I've recognized is that the state constitutional government in which I live is called Pennsylvania. That's the state constitutional government republic in which I live. And so the U.S. Department of State would be the constitutional administrator, right, within Pennsylvania. And so when I fill out this DS-11 form, which stands for Department of State 11 form, right, and I check no to U.S. citizenship, right, only because I'm aware that there was a time when state citizenship was an option on this, but it is no longer an option. So when I mark no to U.S. citizenship for my mother and father, I'm saying that neither my mother or my father operate in this debtor-only capacity. And so that means that they would be state citizens. Now, remind you, this birth certificate entity is 14th Amendment status. So it's black status. It's enemy of the state status. It's really a stateless identity because it has nothing to do with the human and everything to do with the debtor account, record of account. So when I say no to that, I'm saying that my mother and father are living, and thus so am I, right? If you mark no to U.S. citizenship on here, on a DS-11 form, then what you're not telling them you're a non-citizen national. That's not what you're telling. That's not what you're telling. What you're telling them is that you're a state citizen, a national citizen, right? And I guess to some degree that non-citizen national can apply, but it still sounds like an alien identity, right? And then here, right? My occupation is minister. According to my religious doctrine, my occupation is a minister. I'm a priest just for myself. And my employer or school is my fraternal order, which would be the Morris Science Temple of America, right? And then outside would be Pennsylvania, right? So when you get all of that information together, right, and you also declare, because a declaration or a claim, it's in writing, right? So when you do this and you give them an affidavit, which is similar to naturalization, but we're not naturalizing, we're nationalizing it. So when you fill that out and you declare your free national name and religion, because your religion sets your commercial status, right? You are then recognized as the secured entity with white status. White means purity. Purity means God. God means ruler of the land. Ruler of the land means secured party. Right? Okay. When everybody does this, because everyone is expected to do this, right? When everyone does this, then that puts everybody on the level. Everybody is in balance. Everyone is under the white status, right? We're all, white means light. So we are all enlightened under the white status. But we must understand that we have a dark side or a black side or a debtor side, right? But that we only use that to serve the better good. If you are in debt, you have to pay debt, right? We're talking equity. You must do equity to get equity, etc. So just to wrap it up, the segregation that's going on in the United States of America has absolutely nothing to do with your skin complexion. It has everything to do with whether you have allegiance to the state or not. You could be a non-resident alien if you're naturalized, right? And still have the status, so long as you abide by the law, the constitutional laws, you will still have that secured status. Right? But if you do not nationalize, or if you're from somewhere else, if you do not naturalize, peace and love, and wholeness. If you don't nationalize or naturalize, depending on how your citizenship is set up, you will fall victim to whatever mistreatments and abuses that the citizens care to bestow upon you, because you will be identifying yourself in law as an enemy of the state. I'm going to go ahead and drop this brother down. Peace and love to him. All right. Boom. Boom. So he can still hear us. All right, here we go. So, there we go. Nationalization. Then you have naturalization. Then you have statelessness. And then you have the alien. And you know what? We do it right. All right. This is the higher self. In any state, nation, or country, the people of that nation, state, or country are the nationals. The man from the Sudan is Sudanese. A man from China who comes to live in the Sudan is not Sudanese. He is Chinese, right? In the Sudan. Now, if that Chinese individual who is residing in the Sudan takes on the Sudanese citizenship through naturalization, then they too have secured themselves, so long as they abide by the rules of the Sudan. And if they violate those laws that were given by the Sudanese, then their citizenship can be stripped from them. But the Sudanese individual cannot have their nationality stripped. They can just be exiled. They can be rejected. Word. Hold on 1 second. Then you have the alien. So the alien would be like, again, we're just going to, no particular reason. I'm just using these as examples, right? A video on the different nationalities and is one that hasn't been covered in many series and will get you a good following quick so you can get these teachings out. YouTube link in bio. You dig? So again, a Chinese man or woman who is residing in the Sudan, who has not naturalized, who has no record with the Sudanese government, they are there illegally. Okay? And they would be sent back home. Okay, bet. Peace and wellness. I gotta go. Peace and love, family. All right. So the alien would have to go. Now, stateless. Now, mind you, the national, the one who is naturalized, and the alien, they all have nationalities. Right? To say stateless is no different to say nationless or countryless. Now, the stateless individual, or we'll say the stateless identity, is someone that doesn't come from a state, a country, or a nation. Black as a status means a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa, not in any of the original peoples. A people is a state. A people is a nation. A people are a country because the land and the man are of one state of mind. It's continuity, perpetuity. So to be stateless means that you come from some group, right, that is not recognized as human. This is a person, but it's not a human. It doesn't identify the human. This is a stateless. This is a U.S. stateless citizen. This is a U.S. American citizen. So this entity here has no government, has no land, has no people, has no seal, has no flag of its own. Of its own. This is your black person. Everyone has a slave. Everyone has a debtor. Right? But most of us live in debtorship and never rise to the classification of nationalization. What does it mean to nationalize? It means to identify as one of the people of the state, to identify as one of the members of the nation, to identify as one of the countrymen. That birth certificate, which is a bond, it's security, it's a personal account. That's where the person comes in. It has no standing in law. Lawful standing is white standing. White is like light. You can see in the light. So you can be seen, right? And recognized and heard under this white status. You cannot be seen, heard, any of that under this status. This is what the segregation is going to be. Anyone operating like this or operating illegally as an alien, because you do have legal and lawful aliens. But if you're an illegal alien or you're someone who is stateless, right, you're not going to be deemed as one with any type of sovereignty, recognition, rights, authority, or jurisdiction. It's like you have nobody there. You have nobody to back you. There's no one to back you. How many other birth certificates am I going to need in order for this person to be backed? And if I had 1 million other birth certificates from 1 million other people, none of those birth certificates would still be able to speak up, obviously, right? Because its nature is not that of a national. Its nature is not that of a statesman. Its nature is not that of a countryman. It's colored. To be colored means to have a disguise. So when you hear about, oh, that's color of office, color of authority, what's the other one? Color of law. That means that the act has been done in a disguised manner. It looks like law. It's disguised as law, but it's not. It's just not. That's what this is. This is what's going to be. This is where the segregation is coming. Anyone who is not identified as one of the people, right? Whether nationalized, naturalized, or even as an alien, because like I said, an alien has a nationality. It's just not a U.S. nationality, right? So all three of these here have standing. This has no standing. This is anyone who is operating under the 14th Amendment federal citizenship class is going to be, they're going to be done dirty. You know, imagine a group of people who have been disenfranchised. So their country no longer identifies with them, right? They can't return home, right? If they get in trouble, no one's coming to save them. Imagine a group of people like that who are in another country. And the people of that country are looking at them like, well, what are you here for? You know, you're working here, you're trying to take our resources, right? But they have no claim. And so what's going to happen? They're going to forever be servants of that nation of people. They will never have their rights as one of those people. And then again, they don't have any state, country, or nation backing them to come save them, to return to. So in closing, if no one desires to come up, let me see. They want to change the amendment. Citizenship was never read. Right. It was never even. Right. I mean, so the 14th Amendment, which treats of what I would call which deals with principal debtorship, right? You can only work for someone else, but you can't receive any return on your investments. You can't invest, right? This is what the 14th Amendment is talking about. This is unconstitutional because in our Constitution, all men are born not only free, which means sovereign, they were also born equal. And so if all men are born free and equal, then all men are deemed white. And the white status is principal creditorship. To the creditor belongs everything. Your rights are under the creditorship status. Liability under the creditorship status. You're owed something. Liability under the debtor means that you owe someone. So this means that you always owe someone or something. Always. You're never in the position to receive. This is unconstitutional. This is what the Constitution is telling everybody. That every man, and remember, the man in the land, the man in the nation, they the same thing, right? So the man in the land, so the state and the statesman, they are one. Let me see. We got to, okay. Yeah, because I'm not going to keep coming up to it. Why don't you come on up and give your piece, beloved.
Islam,
Islam.
brother. You right on point, brother. I just
Try to
been
be,
waiting on
brother.
somebody to get. I've been waiting on somebody to get on the level with me, man. It's like you know what I'm saying. You know how it is. You know how it is.
Yes, I
I
know.
just did. You right on point too because it goes back to Abraham Lincoln. Our history tell us if we go back to the history, it give us all our keys and we the Moors that hold the keys because there's many of us. And you know,
Absolutely. So to be a Moor also means to be sovereign.
yeah,
You know, in that essence, we know that all of humanity is born Muslim or born perfected. So, you know, everyone's born a Moor. There's only one human family. You know, Moor means love, right? ETC. But for those who desire to identify as other things, by all means do that. You know, but if we don't have this eye to eye shit, it ain't gonna matter, right? The whole race is the Moorish race. How about that? Yeah, man.
Islam,
Let me see here. I
Islam.
mean,
You
I'm
right on
trying to
point with
explain to
that.
the people, right? Because I'm aware of the bullshit. I'm aware of
Yeah, man.
the
Can't
division.
get hit in. I know.
Yeah, I'm aware of the division that infiltrated the movement. When Drew Ali was talking about don't let those foreign Muslims up in your rostrum,
Yeah,
he was talking about those Muslims who were
yeah,
trying to say that black people and white people, etc., are not the same people. We hear that
yeah.
in the
Not the
Nation of
same.
Islam.
You right.
We hear that in the Wahabians. We hear that in our
Yeah,
Israeli dark skinned and pale skinned brothers and sisters. They're the worst of them all.
yeah, yeah. And, and, and
They're the
see,
worst
and
of
see,
them
the
all.
thing
Whether they
is,
dark skinned or
once
pale
see
skinned,
they
they
land,
telling everybody
see
they
they
ain't shit. And
Yeah,
Drew Ali told us,
yeah, because they don't know the landmass.
right?
Yeah,
And Drew, I'm just saying, whether it
they
be
don't
the
know the
dark skin
landmass.
Moorish or the pale skin Moorish, or however we want to identify it, right? Whether they're the Sephardic or the Ashkenaz,
Uh,
each one of them are saying no one is
so we
better
don't.
than themselves. And Drew Ali let us know, he said specifically, and it might not have even been him. It might have actually been Jesus in the literature. But one, if not one, both of them said,
Yeah,
woe to he who calls himself a Jew. That's in the
and
literature.
then that's why you look at what he say noble in front of that. The etymology of noble is a key word. And so once we are that noble person, we began to uplift humanity because we were set here. Our ancestors set us here to create laws, and we got to be able to get ready to do that coming up.
So let me let me
Because
show you something.
that's what our destiny.
While you
That's our
talking,
destiny.
go ahead and talk. Let me just show you something.
That's, yeah, that's our destiny. And like I was saying before on one of these platforms, that I wish I'd have knew this when I was coming up. You know what I mean? Because I would have been, but it wasn't meant for me to know then. I had to go through
Right.
certain things, to see what was going on, in not only my life, in my community too, because you know everybody ain't gonna be able to wake up or handle it, because some people are already you know, got their mind, to a point where, they thinking everything is it's not true, but it's like the truth is the truth and the false is the false.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So they get, you know,
So I
they
was
still be
born.
trapped.
Right. I was born with the name Brandon Eugene Davis. Brandon Eugene Davis. And I took on the title of El, which I know is also Eli, which is Ali. Right. Brandon in Egyptian Arabic means royal or prince. Eugene means nobleman or that of noble blood. Davis is another form for David. And so I'm in the house of David,
Hmm.
beloved of Most High.
Hmm.
I already came in the name. For those of you who are not aware of your Most High name, right? Everyone's name has meaning.
Yeah, mine's
Right,
Itiman Ali.
right,
See, mine's
right.
Itiman Adim Mastik Ali.
So in the Arabic, my name is Amir Nabil Dawood Ali.
Uh-huh.
In the Hebrew, Emir Naveen Dawood Ali.
And see how you said that? And a lot of
Yeah,
people don't know. A lot of people don't know that it sound the same. You
yeah.
see, because the first language was Arab. And then it trickled down to the Hebrew, which is the Israelites, which is us. It's just we
So
took on.
So the Hebrew language is Phoenician. It's Old Canaanite.
Hmm.
That's where it stems from. And the Arabic and and that what we call Hebrew, it actually stems from the Aramaic.
Uh-huh.
In the Aramaic, this is where I was. So I speak Arabic, bro. That's
Hmm.
my key.
I,
I
I'm trying.
speak the shit. You know what I'm saying? So
That's what we need. That's what we need to try to, like to get to back to that language.
right. So you've got some brothers and sisters who say that this word is different than this word
Uh huh.
because they don't know Arabic.
hmm And then
right?
come to find out, they pushed the Latin on us with the color of law. You see?
Well, remember that the Latin language is also a Phoenician, if you
Uh huh.
will. It's the Latin language is the sister language to Arabic, Hebrew,
Yeah.
etc. So the Latin language has an Eastern Semitic root,
hmm
right?
hmm
So what I was getting at, so this is the English expression. This
hmm
has no different meaning, right? Because you got the Moors out there. Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
come from an older, more ancient language, and I'm like, well, which one?
How ancient can you get? You trying to find it?
So I know where they're getting at, but again, because people don't know language, they're
And see, that's the
repeating
sub,
shit.
and that's the smooth talk. See, you got to
Right.
be aware of the
So
smooth
I
talk.
know that in Hebrew, this word would be no, ma shalom,
Yeah. Ra. Yeah.
right?
Ma. Yeah.
Now in the Aramaic, Muslim.
Masham. Which
This
which
is
means
this is what Jesus cries out on the cross.
uh-huh. Which is the inside of the womb. Muslim.
Well, when Jesus is supposedly on the
Uh-huh.
cross, and people have to understand that when we're looking at the story of Jesus or any of these prophets, to be 100 with you,
Yeah.
we're looking at accounting.
hmm
We're talking about this straight accounting.
hmm
So when Jesus, which we know means just,
Yeah. Which we know means justice.
right? So when Jesus was on the cross, right, and he was under persecution, and they
Yeah.
tried to say he was a debtor,
Marvel, which is justice. Gotcha.
right? When they tried to call him a debtor, and
hmm
his expression was Mashalem, which means I'm the creditor, or I'm perfected.
Yeah. That's how
This
he
is where
coming
we
in it. He
get
coming.
Jesus was a Muslim.
And that's where the Latin come in at too, cause yeah, yeah, gotcha. Cause they deal that with creditor. They deal in what we were just saying, PCDRC, what you were just saying. So it all goes into one big knot. You just got to understand to web your way into the finish line.
So I'm going to write on the board right quick for those to see, because this also goes to my YouTube. This specifically goes to my YouTube. Why do Muslims claim Jesus to be a Muslim?
hmm You see why?
Right? That's the question for the class. And
Islam.
in order to find the answer to the question, we must ask ourselves what, not who, what
What?
is a Muslim? A Muslim, according to accounting,
Mm-hmm.
is the one who has perfected himself and has submitted his lower self
Yeah.
or his debtor
He in his own state of mind.
or his assets,
hmm
right?
He governing himself,
Right.
basically.
But he has submitted his lower self
hmm
to the higher self, which is the
Himself.
creditor.
Yeah.
Now, Jesus is the cross. So he's what's in the middle, and Jesus means justice. So
Yeah.
you are God or the authority,
Authority. You
and
inherit it.
you have these two selves.
hmm
You have the stateless self and the state self,
hmm
and you must balance right? We must live in equity. In
Yeah,
order to get it, you
yeah.
got to give it,
To be
right?
self-governed,
So
you have to
what is
live
a
in that.
Muslim? Muslim means one perfected in the law. A Muslim is one who does equity.
Yeah, it's really so many terms to it too because
Yeah.
Islam. I hear a lot of people saying, Are you Islam?" I'm like, Islam mean I self master law.
Well,
So
Islam means equity.
yeah, which is I self master law.
I
See,
self law, right? Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
once you master that, then you become that higher being because now you're moving within your state, your higher self.
So me myself having my debtor citizen and my creditor citizen,
Yeah,
I'm perfected.
yeah. Me too. I got my
Right.
visa passport. Yes, sir. I
Because you
got
got,
it. Well,
and I
I'm
got
ready
my
because they.
passport using the RV Bay ID shit. I'm not a
Yeah, see,
fan of that.
no, but see, you got to understand the concept is you have your free papers. You are a free man, and
Absolutely.
a lot of people don't understand that because see, I'm up on the I'm up under the temple, but I'm in Florida Republic, and we was on Sunday school, Sundre school today, and we was talking about we have our own currency.
We have our own what?
We have our own currency. We have our own wealth coming from our prophet Nova Juba Ali. That
Drew
he
Ali
broke.
never changed anything though. Like
Nah,
I just
nah,
want to stop
nah.
right there
Yeah. He never
real
changed
quick.
nothing. He left. He never changed. He left things
Drew
to us.
Ali told us. Drew Ali told us that with the one that all the money was going back to the government.
Yeah,
We know that happened in 1933.
yeah.
But he
He took the
also told us that it would be to our benefit. So
yeah. So
when
he took
people
the
are saying
land.
we have a new currency,
No, not a new currency. We are the currency, but
right?
I'm
Whatever
saying
we
our
place our faith
yeah
in becomes the currency.
currency because we are the law. I self
We
master
are
law.
right. We the people, and
Yeah,
the people coming together,
together
making
as one,
and
as
right.
one,
That makes the law. The
the
agreement
law,
makes the law. So a law is
which
the
is
agreement.
common law, which is Mosaic law.
Absolutely. Common law and the law of merchant, because we're merchants.
Yeah,
Jirali also teaches us,
we
and this is why I don't go to any of the temples, because
me too.
after
Well,
finding this information out, I'm like, what are y'all niggas doing?
yeah, because it was a
I
coon
already
decree.
know it's a coup.
Yeah,
But
so
so
that coup was
Noble Jirali
100
lays it
years.
down to us that we're supposed to be businessmen and women, yet all we
Yeah,
have, right, is the boogie woogie. Where
yeah,
you go into the Moorish Science Temple of America, and it's no different to go into this
yeah.
Presbyterian church, right? Or
But see, that's why
this
he say
this
study your.
this this
But,
this
but
messianic synagogue or
yeah,
whatever, you know what I mean? Or
yeah.
this
But see,
Sunni masjid,
yeah,
like it's all the
yeah. I
boogie
got
woogie
you.
bullshit.
I know, because that's why he say study to show yourself approval, really. Because once you study and you see these facts and you see how the Father wants you to move, then you're gonna be that person to be righteous. You're gonna be that person to lead. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not with the boogie, wiggy, 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 wiggy. You see? So that what makes us, you know, uh, the how should I put it? The messenger from Allah.
Yes, the body is the messenger.
Yes.
This is your prophet, your own prophet. When you look in the mirror, that's your messenger. That's your vessel. That's
Yep.
your prophet. Because prophet just means presiding
Right, you
officer.
off. Mm-hmm.
president, authorized rep, governor.
Yeah.
That's all this shit mean. We take all
Yeah.
that boogie woogie shit out of here.
Yeah. Take it
The
all out.
prophet means that, and the angel means one. It's
That's
the,
manifested in flesh.
the complete. It's the one who knows in the mind and the
Yeah.
soul and in the body.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Arm, leg, head, arm, leg.
I don't use that.
But I'm just saying, you know, the
I'm
whole
just letting
tree
you
of
know that I don't use that because there are people who have placed those codexes out there that I'm in disagreement with.
all right.
And
So
so I don't allow that because that would be done in private,
okay.
right? Because it could be misinterpreted
Interpret.
and it could be a distraction. I'm just trying to get the people to
Yeah, I
plain
got you.
truth.
I got you,
I'm not
brother.
going to tell anybody that Islam
No,
means I, self, law, and master until they're ready for that.
I got you, brother.
You see what I'm saying? And the people aren't, again, I don't learn from people, you know, Brother C. Freeman L.,
Yeah.
you know, and I love that brother.
Yeah, see, I met a lot. I met Love Valentine's.
Yeah, Phil Valentine, I fuck with him too.
Yeah.
But who I
Tyree
don't
Bay,
fuck with,
yeah, Tyree Bay. He be
I don't
on
fuck with
our
Taj no more.
yeah, he be on our thing. He came on a couple times.
Yeah, I don't
Nah.
fuck with Taj no more.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with I don't fuck with
Gotta
C
learn
Bay
to
at all.
love. Yeah. Well, you know.
But I
sometimes,
understand that these are like the brother C and Bay was another individual that brought that I, self, law, and master. Right? The reason why I don't deal with that information is because they're also separating the Europeans and the Eurasians from the Moors. And that's not what it's about. That's not what Jurali is about.
Nah, see, the father do that. He already said that. He said, let him handle.
When they call themselves sons of a widow.
We just supposed to study. All we
Right.
supposed to do is
That's
study
why I
and set law.
I study masonry. I study shrine. I study all that shit. That doesn't
I study
mean,
anything with righteous.
huh?
That's righteous.
Yeah.
I study everything that's righteous.
But what I'm getting at to yourself, so that you know, when should you come back onto this feed at any given time, what I'm
Look,
trying
see, I'm
to
on the.
relate to you is that
Yeah, I got you.
CMB, Moore's Order, anyone who's a part of Moore's Order or the Round Table, and anyone who's dealing with CMB, that they are the ones bringing the foreign doctrine.
Okay, so
Because they're teaching, hold on. So do you have the Moore Zodiac Constitution?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the preamble?
Yeah, I got the protocol from Prophet Nova Jubali.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. He ain't signed off on none of that shit. And I want to explain it to you.
No, but see, the thing is, he didn't sign off. He was that person to be acknowledged in that time. That the
Bro,
truth is
hear me out.
this. You see what I'm
Hear me
saying?
out.
So right now, if he
Are
wouldn't,
you white? Is your race white?
No. I'm a Seminole.
Your race is not white?
Seminole. Yeah, I'm free white man, but I'm a Seminole indigenous to this land. So
Okay, so Moorish Americans are North Africans.
really Moroccan.
North Africans. So that could be Morocco, that could be Tunisia, that could be Tangiers, Algiers, Tripoli, that could be Egypt, Sudan, etc.
Yeah, but this is, but you know, this is Egypt. Chicago is Egypt. So we are in the North Gate.
Egypt is on both sides of the continent.
That's what I'm saying. So
it's on both sides of the planet.
Yes, I understand that, but we in the North Gate. You see, Morocco.
See, okay, so you know what, brother? I hear a lot. You're not hearing me. You're trying to drop shit on me personally that I've already been through that shit.
Okay.
And I'm trying to expose something to you, but you're holding so tight onto it that you're not hearing me, bro. To be a Moorish American means that you're a North African, which means that your race, according to the SF 181, brother, is white.
See, you got to understand. I'm really a Kemet. Kushite. I'm not African. See, that's where it goes back to the
All
language
right,
term
well,
again.
with all due
But you know, up,
respect, bro, you coming to me like you're Moorish American. The Moorish Americans
I
deal with
am.
the Egyptian adept systems. We deal with
Yeah.
everything in the
Every,
Tunisians,
we
Moroccan,
created.
all of
We
that. All
created.
of that is us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
But
know
you're,
that we created. We created all of that. That's what I'm trying to,
well,
you know,
who are
drive.
we? Are there pale skinned
We
people?
we
Are
we
there pale skinned
Moroccan.
people who
We
are there
olive
pale
skinned.
skinned people who are a part of the we that
Yeah,
created it?
we spread the four corners of the earth, brother. So we got to understand over here, we the ancestors. You see. So
I
now,
asked
since
you a
we,
specific question though.
I'm trying to give it to you right now. We the
Are the
ancestors.
pale skinned Europeans part of the we?
Uh, they from the tribe. They
Their
got the same
family.
tribe.
There's no
Yeah, yeah.
disunity, right?
You know, yeah, but I got a Palestinian brother right now. You know, he knows the truth. He stopped me.
I'm
He
not
used
even
my name.
talking about the
But I'm just,
Philistine. I'm talking about Europeans.
yeah, I'm saying the Europeans know who we are. They got a Quran inside of their courtroom, so they know what time it is.
So what
So
I'm trying to
their job
expose,
their job is to
what I'm trying,
keep us.
brother, brother. I'll come to you on your platform and listen to you wholeheartedly. You're not gonna overspeak me on mine.
I don't want no platform, brother. I just go, and listen because I already
Just
know,
hear me out, right? With with CMB, he identifies as the Europeans as the white, and he identifies. He doesn't even call us Muslims in his literature, but he identifies his Moorish Americans, right? We know now as Native Americans, which is not the right classification. But he makes a distinction. He gives the white Moorish freehold status to someone else and does not say that we are one and the same.
Yeah, because he wrote that. You see, you gotta understand. Back then, that's a part of the Kunda Tab. He had to make sure he tricked certain people so they couldn't come into this knowledge. So
Okay,
you can't.
yeah, my
So
apology. Yeah, he's a
listen,
sucker.
listen, listen. So if Prophet Noah I said, if everybody wake up, every indigenous person wake up on this planet Earth, right, knowing who they is, man, they'll tear this place up, man. A lot of
Oh
people ain't
yeah.
ready. A lot of people ain't ready for this. You see, and that's the thing. You know, with
Hold on one
Moors,
second. One
you
second.
know, Moroccans across the world. You feel what I'm saying? We 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 at each other, but not looking at the insight. Why are we at each other? Why did we, you know, continue to go at each other during those Renaissance times? Because people was trying to get the inheritance because they knew who we were. You see, so but back to the European descent, they can get adopted in, but the prophet said they're gonna have to do business with us. You see, and that's why it's all a part of that, party creditor, equity that the Father Yahshua is talking about with this. That's in the whole party creditor, equity that the Father Yahshua is talking about with this. That's in the Holy Bible that we understand that, we're gonna be misled. So that's why we got and we'll see. That's why I say go to Abraham Lincoln. And Abraham Lincoln, you know, he a more. You see what I'm saying? But he was also uh, mixed with European descent too. So wanted us, to
Islam, I appreciate your patience, bro. I
no
had to
no
step
problem, brother.
out.
I was just still talking how to, we here to set laws. We ain't here to go to work. We ain't here to be nobody employee. We ain't here to be holding
We're
and
here to
toting.
be our own employees.
Yeah, we ain't here to be toting guns,
Right, right.
selling drugs, on the corner playing football, basketball, soccer, all that. We are not
Right.
here for that. We are not here for that. But so many people are trapped within that matrix timeline that a lot of people are not going to wake up. So
So,
I ain't trying to bash your number, brother. You doing
no
the right
doubt,
thing.
brother.
I'm with you. I'm with
I
you.
have to jump off because I have a ride coming. I got to handle
Okay,
something.
okay,
In
okay.
about an hour or so, though, I'll be back on.
Islam, brother. Just look for me, man. You know, cause I don't even really want no platform, bro. I just want to reach out and, you know what I'm saying, and politic with my brother, cause we are the body politic, you know.
Absolutely.
So you know,
That's what makes
but
us the citizen, the body politic.
yes, sir. But peace and love, brother.
Peace and love and light. And to you all, as usual, I am Brother David Saleh, just your brother man, coming to show you the way to your own salvation. Islam.